Hello, this is Nancy Chickenock with Forward Progress Health and Wellness. I miss my tribe. I haven't been able to do any recordings for a couple of weeks because I've been so busy training and giving workshops, and I'm really happy to be back with you today. I miss doing this. So today what's on my mind is the concept of power versus force. Now, what's got me thinking about this is I'm in the middle of a great read called the book by the late Dr. David R. Hawkins called Power versus Force. And he really brings out a lot of good points about the differences. And I've been thinking about all the applications of how we use the different applications of power versus force in our daily lives. We really use it in all of our relationships, whether they're business relationships, personal, transactional, which is obviously business, like if you're going to the grocery store and the cashier checks you out and it gives you a hard time. How do you handle that? Do you handle that with force? Do you handle that with power? So let's look at some of those differences today, and so we can get a better grasp on how to make our lives and the other lives of other people easier by using power, our own innate power, rather than a forceful energy or push. Taking that from there, the idea of force, even if you look at it in physics, it explains this very well, but we're talking in practical applications of everyday life. So just thinking about force, if you're forcing something in a, let's say, a sales and marketing scenario, and you're meeting with the customer or client and it's coming off as push energy, like you feel like you're being sold instead of the salesperson trying to see what your needs really are and being concerned about what your needs are. You just feel like they're concerned about what they can sell you today, and regardless of whether you need it or not, whether you want it or not, and it's just got that forceful push energy, and it feels yuck, and you feels like you're at the used car lot, and it's just awful. Obviously, we don't want to operate like that since we're conscious business people. How much better to use our innate power in situations like these? We're all born with innate power. Whatever created us, whatever that force is, that you can call it by many names: God, infinite mind, divine mind, spirit, infinite intelligence, quantum field, love, it doesn't matter what you name it. It's the force that created us, and we were born innately with power that was imbued in us when we came to the earth. We start demonstrating it immediately when we come out of the womb by crying and let our needs being known, and then it matures over the years and we learn how to use it in a more skillful way, hopefully. But we come here with it. So we have power, and we get a choice of how we're going to use it. So let's say we're in that same sales situation, and we're coming from that place of power. Power is confident. We don't have to push anything on anybody because we're okay regardless of, we can detach from the outcome. So we can take a genuine heart interest in what the other person needs and truly approach it from a place of getting to know them, finding out what their pain point is, determining if we have a solution for them, or if someone else may have a better solution for them for where they're at or what they need, we can refer them. Coming from a place of power allows us to do that. It's from a place of, I've said heart-centered, a place from love, spirit, however you want to call it, but it's not coming from that I've got to get something from you, push mindset energy, which is what we're trying to avoid. So I'm thinking about another situation where this could occur. I think I mentioned earlier in the broadcast about like if you're at the grocery store and you've got a rude cashier that's giving you a hard time or whatever, and you just, want to get your few little groceries or maybe your ton of groceries and get out and get on to your next thing. If you get irritated and like, well, an attitude of defensiveness and you're offended and all that, you're going to come up with that force energy. You're going to react out of force. Even if you don't say anything to the cashier, if you walk away angry or irritated, you pass it on to the next person you say, or your family when you get home. You've now come from a place of force which actually weakens you. Coming from a place of power is empowering. It strengthens you. You could look at it like this, and actually this is an actual story. Here's a great illustration. This actually happened. A mentor of mine had such an experience with a cashier, and the cashier made a mistake and overcharged the lady on, I think, an item, and she just politely pointed out, oh, I think you double charged, could you? And she was just all irritated and acted like it was the biggest deal and was so rude. And anyway, back in that day, and maybe they do some places still, they helped you to carry your groceries to the car and load them for you. And so the young gentleman helped her take her groceries to the car, and the lady came from a place of force or ego, and she said, I just think that must have been the rudest cashier I've ever experienced. And the young gentleman that helped her out with the cart was a teenager, and he goes, yeah, I know. He said, she is having a really hard time. Her little son was hit by a car yesterday, and he's in ICU, and she's so worried about him, and she can't go to the hospital because she feels like she has to be at work in order to maintain insurance. She's not even sure insurance is going to pay for it. And of course, this just took all the angst just deflated from the lady as she realized the story of what was really going on with another human being. And all of a sudden, it went from anger and irritation and all about me to just compassion. Oh my goodness, look at what she's going through, and here she is up here trying to help me cash out some groceries, and her heart and her mind and body should be over there in the hospital with her son, but she feels like she can't go. So we went completely from a forceful energy to a powerful energy in that scenario. Another thing that this lady taught from that, a principle that she gleaned, was, we actually have the option to treat people with compassion without knowing their story. What if we hadn't learned about the fact that she had a son in ICU that was hit by a car yesterday, and we never found out why she was rude? Couldn't we just decide to come from a place of compassion anyway, or at the very least a place of not letting it bother us? That, my friend, is coming from a place of power. And that's going to make you feel better, and it's going to make the whole world around you feel better. So I hope you found this helpful, and these mindset minutes are something that just I apply to my life. I try to live this every day, and I hope you find it helpful too. Thank you so much, and I'll be back with you soon to share some more mindful moments. Bye-bye.